Hey everyone, yeah, looks so great to have you there. I did notice just several minutes ago that, there's over like 80, 90 people that had already sitting there waiting for me to do the show. So, I'm really impressed by that, and I'm sure the numbers are growing. So tonight I have with me, now, let me just try and do this one, right? Now, Vidhi Mody.
That's great, yeah.
Wow, okay, so I got it. So I'm going to call you Vids because, that's a nickname that you have anyway, isn't it? So you feel comfortable with that.
Sure.
So I'm going to say a very big special hello to your father.
Sure.
Mr. Mody.
Mr. Mody, yeah.
Mr. Mody, who is back in
India.
Mumbai.
Yeah.
And so that's what this is all about. The fact that you left a safe haven with your family and to come to Australia to be an international student.
Yeah.
And that's, what the basis is for tonight's talk.
Yeah.
And the fact that, what you had to endure as a young person, like you're 24 years of age. And look how beautiful she is. Like,
thank you.
Look at her, you're just so beautiful, 24. So you came here 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So you were 22.
Yes, yeah.
Wow, and you've left your homeland, you've left your family to study here in Australia. And is that the University of New South Wales?
Yes.
And I know that I said in my teaser the Sydney University, but I'm now correcting myself. So you were 22. What made you decide to come to Australia to do, and you're doing commerce, correct?
Yeah, I'm studying for Masters of Professional Accounting.
Masters of Professional Accounting.
Yeah.
Wow, at 22, how did you know that you even wanted to do that?
I guess I just completed my high school and I decided I'm really passionate about accounting, and I decided I really want to do something in that. But
how does someone become passionate about accounting?
My dad is a businessman, and I've always seen him counting money and just counting numbers.
Well, when it's counting money, it's a different story.
It's a different story, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that was just because I have been just sitting with my dad since childhood, and we both used to sit at home and work around with the bank work, and he used to just telling me that this is what you really need to learn in life. And I said, okay, I can take a look at it, and that's how I started inculcating that sense of just this practical knowledge about accounting, and I decided I really want to do something in accounting.
So what business is your father in?
So my father used to be a stockist, so he was basically working around with building material supply, so the tiles and the granites and anything that's related
So you worked with him, or?
No, I was just working around with the home, managing home accounts, like accounts of my mom and my dad. So that's how I just genuinely got around, okay, this is how we do around working with the bank reconciliation statements, or this is how we go to the bank, this is how we calculate tax or something like that.
Isn't that wonderful that he showed you all that?
Definitely.
And that you had an interest in it. He would have been proud as a father.
I hope so. Still,
You should be proud, Mr. Mody, because I'm telling you, your daughter is such a beautiful, gorgeous soul. Any mother, father, sister, brother would be proud, I can tell you now. And I'm sure everyone at home watching this is like shaking their head and saying yes. Okay, so let's get back to, so you went to high school, and what were your friends like in high school? Were they like aspiring to go to university and to do things as well?
Not really. I still have a very close friend of mine, and she studies for medicine. So when I decided, when I was growing, there were a lot of different people with different ambitions, but I was just a bit naive maybe, and just thinking about, oh no, I really want to start with a business or something. But yeah, with time I guess I realized that accounting is something I can look forward to, say, around next 20 years as well, and I'm more than happy to be specifically tax accountant. So,
So, all right, so then you've come here at 22.
Yeah.
And I know that would have been so hard. Did your parents come to Australia with you?
Not really. So I have this long relative of mine. My dad has a friend, and his relatives are in Sydney. So to be honest, they were amazing, and they still are an amazing support in Sydney. But I had no one in the sense of, the educational support. I was just new to the whole system, and no one from my family have been that educated well enough, to just work in a university. And
So no one in your family has been to uni?
no, my dad completed somewhere around year 5 or year 6. Same with my mom, and I'm the first person from my family to have been completed
Oh,
masters.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And your
Thank
sister,
you.
your younger sister now is at uni as well.
Oh, yeah, she studies at Macquarie University, and she's studying for Bachelor's of Commerce, specializing in entrepreneurship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's just wonderful. So, no brothers?
No, 2 sisters.
Okay, so that brings me to the point that you were telling me previously, why you took on your father's name and, you know, you like Ashik Mody. So that is because your father never had a son.
Yeah, I mean, not exactly in the sense that when I was growing, a lot of in Indian societies or maybe in a lot of other Asian countries, it's being assumed that it's more towards a male maybe. If you have a boy, he's someone who is gonna just make proud of, he's just gonna make his parents proud. And so I was a really shy kid. I was really shy, and there have been times where I was not that active compared to other kids, and there were a lot of people used to take my like I was shy, and they used to feel that I'm weak, and that's when I decided that I won't let people think what they want to, at least not the people whom I'm close to. So I decided on that the day when I have the first penny earned. And the first name on the check is going to be Vidhi Mody. And,
So you did.
Yeah, totally. And
That's fantastic.
I don't think so. I have still achieved what I want to. I have still got what I want to. But I'm pretty much satisfied whenever I get any pay or whenever there is anyone, especially when anyone knows my dad by my name. That's a different feeling. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. That's so good.
Yeah.
And he must be proud too that you feel that way and you feel that strongly about representing him as well.
Definitely, but I really, just go around saying that it's just his blessings. It's just his hard work and his faith. And my mom believes in Buddhism.
Oh, does she?
is a really big fan of Buddha.
Yeah.
Not a fan, maybe just a devotee.
A follower, yeah.
A follower. And it's been a really difficult way bringing me up, me and my sister. And yeah, it's just because of her and my dad.
So you were saying before, like we were having conversation, I was saying, and what religion or religious background did you grow up in? And you were saying, tell my viewers what, our conversation was. Like you were saying that your dad believes in the giving and paying it forward.
Yeah. So I basically come from the western part of India. So normally a lot of people back do believe in idol worshipping. My dad don't. So I remember when I was growing up, I eventually had no idol at home to worship. And there always used to be this conversation at home when I used to go to school and come back and, my dad and my mom used to be like, okay, I was like, why don't we do that? We do go to festivals, we do attend, we go to temples, it's not, but we don't follow something on a regular basis. So when I was growing up, there was a really important thing that my dad told me. And he was like that, Vidhi, always remember your karma is going to speak for you. And he said that never ever do...
Your karma.
Your karma.
Your karma, yeah.
So he said never ever do anything with an intention of getting anything. So when I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, as a kid you don't think, it's important at the time, but to you as a young adult it's very important now because that's what you live by.
Right.
Never do anything
with an intention of getting it back.
Yes.
So that's what happened that, I was really young and I was in Australia and I was just really eager to get a job and just to be by myself. And when I started with working, I realized this is just money that I need from this job. And I had this amazing, she's still one of my best friend in Sydney. She was my first friend in Sydney and she was eager as well. And she was more eager on learning at that stage. And I was like, I want everything. I need money. I just want to get by myself. And after meeting her and after my first job, I realized that was just not money that I needed. That was something which I wanted to learn. And now when I go to job or when I have my pay, I still send a screenshot to my dad about what I earn. But it's just learning, I guess. And that's going to be the rest of my life, I guess. And that's my best friend. She was the person to make me realize like she's one of my bestest friend in Sydney and ever. Yeah.
And that's beautiful too. I mean, it's very important to have that special someone in your life because, you know, when you're suffering in life too, you know, those sort of people that you're very close to are the people that you should be able to contact and talk to about certain situations.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we have these very beautiful people in our lives, to be able to share our burdens, but also to share our joy. And that's so important too. So from being 22, coming out here, and then suddenly you're at university. Was that overwhelming?
Really a lot, to be honest. So I'm still not that good in terms of speaking English. So
I think you're doing beautifully.
Yeah, I'm still learning the Aussie accent, but
I said I'll fix that later.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms that it's pretty much more organized and developed. Back in my home country, we weren't that organized, maybe because there was a lot of lack of awareness about the importance of university or anything. But so when I walked in, it is really different for me, and I remember the lifestyle that we had back in my home country, in terms of the food, in terms of the way of living, in terms of the social life. The way we talk to elders, the way we talk to our friends is really different here. So that was a bit different for me, and yeah, I was living with other two Indian girls, and it was amazing. I have met amazing people in Sydney, very good, but that internal fear of just meeting someone new and just being aware about that. Okay, I first have to make my safety out here. So I guess that was a bit challenging in the new atmosphere. Yeah.
So and getting used to the Aussie way and the Aussie accent too, I guess. And I know that there was a lot of international students, but and I guess too about like you touched on the respect thing too of your elders. And I know that there are lots of people out there that do respect their elders. I'm not saying there isn't, but there is a certain age group that maybe they've forgotten about that respect thing, or we're not. Are we forgetting to teach them, like with your social background and your cultural background, like it's really important the respect that you have for your elders, correct?
Right, yeah.
Like you don't address them certain ways like we do.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that I know we do, we're a bit lax in that regard.
Yeah.
So to be able to leave that behind in your country and then to come here and everything is so, well, I'm going to say organic because it's so not structured, and we're loud people and we're colourful and, and we're very young and, it was foreign to you in that respect.
Right.
That, how did you feel when you'd hear people talk to their elders a certain way?
So I still remember, in India, say for example, if there is someone elder to us, we don't talk to them by their first name. It's not like that. So when I walked in here, I remember that there used to be, like where I used to live, I used to meet a lot of people, like neighbors and everyone, and when they used to be like, they were really friendly, and I was a bit conscious because I was like, I cannot speak to him by his first name. But then with time I got used to it, but I still have this fear of when I go to anyone's place, people out here are pretty much relaxed, I still have that a bit of consciousness, and I don't feel comfortable of, even using someone's sofa without their permission. So so still a bit of the Indian touch maybe, but I'm loving the Aussie style.
Yeah, because we're very relaxed, I know that. But I noticed like you and I just in the last hour or so, and the way that you're asking permission for every move that you make or everything that you go to use, and I find that very respectful. But I think, wow, I would never do that the way that you have, like, because we don't. Well, I'm talking for me, but I've not been taught like that.
Yeah,
we're respectful. But I wouldn't think to ask someone, is it okay that I sit on your couch, or is it okay that I have your pillow, or And I find it quite beautiful, really, that you think enough of someone to actually ask that.
Yeah.
So we've looked at the culture, because that would have been an amazing shock to the system. And did you have a support network? Like, is there something at the university that you can go to, like a counsellor or something like that you can go to and talk to if you've got a situation?
Oh, definitely. So,
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's fine. So definitely, when I walked in the university at the first time, so I was really passionate about, exploring stuff and all. So I went really every corner, and by the end of semester, I used to have every idea about which seminar is going in which building, and when it's gonna be, what it's gonna be. But it was more related to my own field. In terms of extracurricular, I was not that, great. But yeah, we do have a good support system in terms of lecturers at UNSW. In terms of going to the counselor, if you have any issues, you have an education counselor you can talk to. If you think that the pressure is overwhelming, you can go to a professional psychologist at UNSW Health Services.
So they have...
they have a good support
Wow, so I mean, let's tell someone, because right now if you're watching this and you're actually... you're going to uni next year or something like that, and you do have a situation, that there are counsellors and a psychologist that you can actually see. So where would someone go to? What would be the first place that they would go to if they're experiencing some situation that they need help? Who would they go to first?
I think for any one of us, it's difficult at the first time to open up to someone new.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the first person you would go to, definitely being away from your family, is a friend.
Mm-hmm.
A genuine and a friend with whom I hang out, who knows me, not in and out maybe, but who knows me to a certain extent. And I don't know how can I say that, but sometimes it's really important to not have that judgment when we talk to someone. So in last 1 year I've realized this, that if there is anyone who's quiet maybe in the class, there is someone who doesn't speak much, or there is someone who really speaks a lot, it's totally different to just mute all the inner judgment that you make, and just being okay what the person is talking about. And that's what I've learned from this friend of mine. And I remember when I was going through some of the really deepest, like the scariest issues, she was the first person to talk about. So I guess anyone before reaching to, definitely going for a professional help is always being recommended, but I guess first talking personally, a heart-to-heart conversation with your friend.
That's very good advice. So to find someone, or if you've got someone that you've met at uni and you feel really comfortable with, to go to that person first and talk to them about your situation.
Right.
And then go to the professional side of because it would be very daunting.
Yeah.
Well, I can't even imagine how you felt. I mean, I would think, it'd be very daunting even just going to university and having to deal with that, just going there and finding where the buildings are and, where this room is and where that lecture's held, let alone being on your own, not having a support system and leaving your family behind. I would just think that would be very overwhelming. So, of course, with time, what happened with you is that you developed depression and anxiety. How did you know that you had depression? Like, what was the first sign that you had?
So I remember exactly last year in the month of July, I had my dad's 50th birthday, and I had been back to India to celebrate that. And it's just that I returned back to semester 2 2017, and I realized the moment I stepped out of the airport, Sydney airport, I got into the cab and I felt I'm just feeling really empty from inside. And then that's when I thought that I might be missing my family, because I just had some beautiful moments with them. With time, in August, around July, August, September maybe, I was just crying every day. While going to uni, while traveling in transport, public transport, sleeping at night, I was just crying. And I was losing my focus in my studies. I was not going to any events. I was not even able to talk, just not able to have a normal conversation, a regular basis conversation with my closest friends in Sydney. and I don't know, and I always had I had this guilt that I used to feel that there is someone else talking on behalf of me every moment. There was just someone else within me, and then I'm fighting with that someone else with me. That someone else is just in me every day, and I just wanted to get rid of it. Excessive crying, lot of like excess fatigue. There has been days when I've actually spoken to Lifeline Australia. So it's basically a lifeline where you can give a call when you really feel that you're suicidal, or maybe you just want to talk to someone.
And that helped you? Like,
Definitely.
I mean, I often say, like, you know, so many of my shows, go and get help when you're in this situation and talk to people. But if you really haven't got anyone that you feel comfortable talking to call Lifeline, because it is an amazing service. So you're saying that you actually rang Lifeline and...
I was not even able to talk to them, but I was just crying like a small baby, and you just losing focus, you just losing that inner hope. I was just numb. I remember around October I started having those anxiety panic attacks where when my heart used to go numb. Any situation facing people, even my friends, I used to know my friends used to walk home. I used to just go in the bedroom and sleep. And that's the time when they started thinking, this is just not you, what's happening to you? And I said, I don't know. I was just withdrawing from people, and I was just alone the whole day at home. Even I'm going to uni, I'm just sitting there, I'm mentally somewhere else. And it is so difficult.
So you weren't even absorbing what you...
No. I was just having a pass grade, and that was so difficult, and I was just struggling. So something of my expertise which I used to do in 6 hours, see an assignment, I took literally 24 hours for that.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Yeah, and it was so worst in the sense that by October I went to, and that was the bad part about me. I thought that there is some type of sadness within me, but by the end of October I actually visited a psychologist. I met my GP on campus, and that's when I realized I'm suffering from melancholic depression, which is a form of a major depressive disorder, and I am going through anxiety as well. And I was not able to take my exams. I got a special consideration, and that was the peak time when I started with my antidepressants, and I was just on the bed the whole day. I still remember that my parents were not aware about it at the same time.
And that's what I was going to say, like, you didn't share your situation with your parents. Why?
Just to be really honest here, and that's for each and every international student, my only advice to anyone would be practically is that there is someone who loves you unconditionally. I know my parents love me unconditionally, but if they are physically not with me at the moment, they just cannot do anything without worrying about it. And why to give them more worry if there is something which I cannot manage by myself? After sharing to them, I recently spoke to them maybe around 15 days ago that I was suffering from something like that, but now I feel that I'm much more independent than what I was before. So it was just that at that time I remember just having a back-to-back on antidepressants, going through a lot of other medicines. I'm still going around to 8 to 10 tablets a day.
Wow.
So in that depression I realized that I have a genetic issue. So that's what we call methylation. So eventually I have a gene defect in my body, because of which for the rest of my life I'll be only able to work around, say, 60% of a normal human capacity. And that is the main cause of my depression. I may have this issue when I get into some of the severe life problems or stress or anything. But I remember, and the worst thing I guess was, and I was not even able to get up and brush my teeth. I was withdrawing from everyone. My friends, I respect their life. I respect their way of living, definitely here. And you have to just understand that it's just not you when you're in another country. They have invested equal amount of money to be here to come and study. They have invested equal amount of time. They have invested equal amount of emotions to come here and study. And that's where I come forward. I really thank, I have a group of friends in Sydney, and like girlfriends, we are like 4 girlfriends, and they are closest to my heart and I love them. And the best thing about a friend is that they love you unconditionally, but they let you be the way you want to live. When I was depressed, they just left me. They left me in the sense just for me to get back on my steps, to not be dependent on anyone. They were with me, they were caring for me, they had their eye on me, they were knowing where I'm going, where I'm not going, they were knowing what I'm studying, what I'm not studying. They were caring about me, but not that enough for me to get emotionally dependent on them. And now, when I know that I'm in a much better and a healthy state, I realize that that's what I've earned in my life is some amazing true friends in Sydney. And this show is more for my friends. I have one friend back in India. She is one used to study back for bachelor's with me. One of my childhood friend who is studying medicine back in China, and she is closest to my heart. And the other 4 friends, we are here. So they have been an amazing support. And I did lost contact with a lot of friends of mine. Maybe because of depression, maybe because of, say, my childhood issues. But I'm more than happy that I have just trying to get myself free from that grief. It's difficult, but I'm happy.
You should be proud of yourself, because what an amazing journey, and to do it all on your own, because you were, even though you had, like you said, you were surrounded by your girlfriends, you were still on your own. And you hadn't shared your information with your parents, so they had no idea. So you were putting a different slant on that, like you were letting them think that everything's okay. And what did your father say when you told him?
No, he was just like that, what if anything would have happened to you?
No.
And I said that even if anything happens to me, I know I am by myself. And only one thing that I've learned, especially from depression, is that forever, since my childhood, I have been trying to be with someone, maybe a friend, maybe a partner, maybe a family member, to feel happy about myself. Now, after being alone in depression, I feel I don't need anyone by myself. I do need support, but I'm happy the way I am. I love myself for who I am. It's difficult at times. I'm still coping with depression and anxiety. I still have some panic attacks, but I guess anyone who's suffering from mental health issue, I recommend accepting in the first stage is a step towards it.
Absolutely.
I guess I've conquered this disease, this mental illness, like way more than I've thought about it. There have been days where you don't feel like doing anything, you don't feel energy. It's okay. I don't think my career, my emotions or my health is any way more important than what I think about myself. If I'm one day on bed, if there is any student whose parents have spent so much of money for their education and they feel, oh my God, I'm not doing what I should have, doesn't matter. I have realized that today I am here because I wanted to be here. And it's okay. There are still some days when I'm not performing at 100%. I still some days when I need sleep, I go off to sleep. There are still some days when I cannot cook, it's okay. There are still some days where I spend money and I still have to manage working around, gathering back money, but I'm happy with it.
But you now have 2 jobs.
Oh yes, I have 2 jobs, and touch wood, I'm really happy because I'm getting to learn a lot, and more than that, I am just loving it. I get up in the morning, I go for job, by evening I go for job. I do get tired because of medicines, but my job keeps me happy.
So if you were, look, I just admire you for who you are and what you've done and what you've achieved, and I'm sure a lot of, my viewers out there feel the same way. But each and every week when I have someone on the show, I ask them to give a message of hope. And I ask you to look down the camera and speak to someone that may be going through a similar situation as you've been through, or know of someone that has. What message of hope would you give someone if they were watching right now? You look at them and speak to them.
Sure. Just believe in yourself. I just recently told this line to my friend. There is gonna be no one means no one by you till the end. It's just you, and it's just you who's gonna be by your end. So just love yourself and don't try to be anyone. You just have to be yourself. Love yourself, pamper yourself, and trust me, everything is gonna be okay.
So that's usually my line. So at the end, I usually say that, know that you're going to be okay. So tonight we'll both do it together. But firstly, I'll just thank some of my amazing viewers that, each and every week are there for me and, watch my show every week. And I thank you for that, because without you guys watching, there would not be a show. And if one person out there has some sort of assistance that changes their life, or they go and get help, then it's been successful in my book. So tonight I'd like to thank Reese Livermore, Shireen Lowe, big hearts to you, Shireen Lowe. Now that's got to be someone that you know.
Okay.
What's the name there? Hashada?
Oh, Harshada Surve.
Oh, that's it. Exactly what she said.
Okay. That's
and
Rajesh Kangana.
I'll go the next one. You go the other ones, I'll go the next one.
Definitely.
So we've got Evelyn McGecky, Debbie O'Donoghue, thank you so much. And Di Sminnies, I love ya. Di's been a friend of mine since we were 5 years old.
Oh.
And I'm getting on a bit. So, and
That's Namantanna.
the way you say it's just beautiful. And we've got Katie Smitties. Thank you, Katie. That's yours.
Namantanna. That's again.
I wish I could say that like that. Katie Smitties.
Disha Mody.
Now, Disha Mody. Who's Disha Mody? Is that your...
Oh, yeah.
Is that a relative?
She's my aunt. Yeah, she's my aunt. Yeah.
Hello, Auntie.
Oh, good.
And you've got the next one.
Hetal Kanakya. Oh, okay, great. I really admire her. She's my brother's. Yeah, she's like my aunt. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. And then I think the next one's yours too.
She's my mom. Nisha, yeah. Nisha Mody.
Hello,
yeah.
Mrs. Mody.
Yeah.
Hi. So Nisha.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
Hi, Nisha Mody, Mrs. Mody. Hi.
Yeah.
And
The second one is Mamta Mody. That's my aunt. Yeah.
And
Chetan Mody, my uncle. Kajal Kadge is my friend. Vivek Mehta is my friend. Jagdish Kothari is my dad's friend. Sonal Karelia. Okay, people know me on Facebook. Okay. Yeah, she's my aunt. Yeah.
And we've got Colleen Dandelion.
Yeah.
And
Sonal Karelia, that's the same. Yeah, the way we spoke about. Yeah.
So then we have Christine Lowen.
Yeah.
And that's
Jagdish Kothari, that's my dad's friend. Yeah.
And Sarah Jane. Oh, hi, Sarah. Now, Sarah is going to come on the show. She's booked in a few weeks' time.
Wow.
She has got a really, really interesting story. Hi, Sarah, and so wonderful of you to be watching tonight, and we'll be hearing your story too. And then we've got Andrea Martin. Hi, and how are your two little boys? I hope they're absolutely gorgeous, these two little boys. And then we've got, that's yours.
Oh my God, that's my sweetheart. That's Sneha Sharma. I spoke to you about my childhood friend.
That's your friend that's the doctor?
Yes.
And she in China, she was.
Yes.
Yeah, And then we've got Maddie Judd. Oh, hi, Maddie. And then that's yours.
Bhavesh Mehta. Yeah, that's my dad's friend. Yeah.
And Chris Rourke.
Oh,
And we've got more. We've got Sean. Oh, Sam Caldwell. Hi, Sam, and thank you so much for watching the show. Sam was on the show some weeks ago and talking about the loss of his father, and it was just an amazing, absolutely amazing interview, I must say. Then we have, right now, hi, Sam. We've got, that's yours?
Yeah. Sneha Sharma, my friend.
Denise Lloyd.
Yeah.
Nisha Mody, Kylie Quinn.
Yeah.
And
Pallavi Chatterjee.
Now, do you know him?
Not really.
No, he is my friend.
Oh.
Yeah, from India.
Okay.
And so there you go. So
you're going to find a lot of people from India.
Oh, there you go. And Philip Barrington, thank you, Phil, for watching. And
Amrendra Singh, he's one of my closest friends in Sydney as well.
Oh, thank you for being such a beautiful friend.
Yeah.
Maureen Philpott and Georgina Harry. And we have
Vivek Mehta, yes, he is one of my friends on Facebook. Ajay is my friend, and Aarti Sridharan. She is another friend of mine. She is my childhood friend, my school friend. Yes.
Hey, they're coming in thick and fast. So then we've got
Harsh Mehta, I take him as my brother. He's studying in Macquarie University.
Aha.
And yes, my
Harsh.
yeah.
Harsh.
And
Hi.
yeah, and that's my first and my bestest friend in Sydney, Shreya.
Ah.
She's my first roommate and my friend. I love
Okay.
her. Yeah.
And then we've got 2 more, I think.
The list is going on and
Oh
on.
no, it's just fantastic.
Nikhil Mony, he is my brother, and I love him. He is he's like the closest and my closest brother, and he's like my father. So yeah,
Oh,
father
that's
and
so
brother,
beautiful.
yeah.
And Braden, how you going, Braden? So, you know, I mean, we could just go on forever with these beautiful people that keep, you know, signing in and sending little messages.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for joining me tonight. And, you know, Vidhi, Vids, travelled, you know, 2.5 hours on a train to get here and do this. And we're going to just turn around and she's going to jump on a train, do another 2.5 hours. So, you know, thank you so much for taking the time to do that. And, you know, telling your story, it's such a brave thing to do and to share with people out there.
Thank you.
And I really believe that a lot of people will be helped or assisted that are perhaps going through the same thing that you've gone through, and know that there is help out there, and know that you can go to someone and see someone at the university. That don't do it on your own, and don't think that you're strong enough to do it either, because, you know, at the end of the day, when things are going on in your own mind, like, you do need some help. You need someone to share it with and someone to get help from. So for us, I must say good night and let you know that I'm really thinking about all those beautiful people out there that are living some kind of hell in their own life, and know that there's an answer, and know that no matter what in life, that you're going to be okay. What do you reckon?
Definitely
You're gonna be
okay.